Welcome to our Candidates Forum for Gresham Council Position 2. This session will last approximately 30 minutes. I am your moderator, Dr. Deb Frick, with the League of Women Voters of Portland. The League of Women Voters is a nonpartisan organization that works to help citizens to make informed choices in elections. We do not endorse any candidate nor political party, but rather we give voters the information they need to select a candidate. Membership information is available on our website and at the table at the back of the room. We thank the Multnomah Bar Foundation, Sarah Fruing Fund, and Paloma Clothing, Neil Kelly, for their generous contributions to our education fund to make these forums possible. Today's forum is being recorded by MetroEast Community Media. This forum will be available for on-demand viewing from a link on our website at lwvpdx.org. To view the forums on local access TV, see the playback schedule posted on our website and also listed in your program. If you have not registered to vote, the last day to do so is October 14th. Contact your county elections office or register online at voteoregon411.org. Ballots will be mailed beginning on October 15th. Now to our forum. The League of Women Voters has invited all the candidates running for Gresham Council positions 2 and 4. Present today and seated in front of me from my left, in the order which they appear on the ballot, are the candidates for Gresham Council Position 2. First is Andrew Doolin and Kirk French. We switch back and forth with each responder, try to make it a little random so the candidates will not have to always be the first one to answer. The candidates during the question part will have 75 seconds to respond to each question. Timekeepers sitting in the back row here at the back desk will signal a 15-second warning, and then a stop sign will appear to tell you that your time has expired. We will begin with the candidates' opening statements. Candidates have 2 minutes to introduce themselves and their platforms. Let's start with Kirk French.
Thank you. 51 weeks ago yesterday, I sat in this chamber when it was unanimously voted to the chamber, or to the council here. Before that, I was on the Finance and Budget Committee here at the city. I also served on the Chamber of Commerce Board of Directors, acting as their treasurer for 2 years. Prior to that, I spent 41 years in the retail business. I graduated from high school on a Friday afternoon, went to work pumping gasoline the next day on Saturday. My first shift was 12 hours, which pretty summed up my career. 25 years later, after pumping that first gallon of gasoline, I was president of Burge Brothers Truck Stops. Does anybody remember that name? Yeah. Okay. I also serve and try to attend as many community events as I possibly can, including neighborhood associations, not just my own neighborhood, but all of them that I can. I also am a liaison on several committees, including the Planning Commission, the Design and Review Commission, the Johnson Creek Watershed Council, the Regional Water Providers Consortium Board, and I also serve on a Citizen Involvement Committee. In addition, I'm on a board of directors for a group who helps battered and abused women.
Thank you. Andrew.
Nothing as fancy as that, I guess. I had never dreamed that I would actually be right here today. That I have a lot of hobbies in my life, and I watch a lot of news and read a lot of news. And so I decided to get a little well acquainted with local government. And when I started to look around, I would find that, there's a lot of people actually aren't involved. That should be quite a large population of Gresham, in fact. So I dug a little deeper and found that these elections were coming up, and I believe that these positions mean something. that the people that hold these positions actually can facilitate like community's vision into becoming a reality. And I'm not a fancy guy. I just thought that running unopposed was kind of wrong. I don't think that this position should have just been given away. So I believe in healthy competition, and that's one of the primary reasons why I'm here, to give just people just the option. And I think that would, I think that's healthy for the city.
Thank you. My first question is, what should be the city's top priority to ensure the success of our Gresham Public Schools? Kirk?
Could you repeat that question?
What should be the city's top priority to ensure the success of our Gresham Public Schools?
I think that we have to be involved in going to meetings and having our voices heard by the superintendents. And wherever we can lend support or guidance, we should be involved. I personally go to the community facilitating committee meetings.
Thank you. Andrew?
Well, that's not really my expertise. I don't have any children. And that's actually not where I focused my research. And so I don't actually have the data to comment on all of that. I wouldn't mind researching a bit more and finding out what can be done more, because I don't really know all the whole issues. I'd be interested to find out myself.
Thank you. Second question. How can Gresham best partner with the county and neighboring cities to maximize services to residents? Andrew?
I'm sorry, repeat that, please.
How can Gresham best partner with the county and neighboring cities to maximize services to residents?
Okay. Services, like police services, emergency services.
Right.
That's easily done by simply having more of a presence all the time in communities. That it's not just, it's a bad thing when a police officer comes by. You actually communicate. You feel good about communicating with these people, that there's an open line of communication. That's the biggest thing. Opening up and reconnecting with people is the biggest thing that we can do.
Thank you. Kirk?
You mentioned the county. I think you heard county.
Right.
I think it's very important that we're out leading and being heard, our voices heard at all county levels. And I don't mind being involved at any table, talking and listening and facilitating discussion that brings about a positive change to our community.
Thank you. Third question. Do you think the city should be increasing, decreasing, or maintaining our current level of urban renewal expenditures? And explain your answer.
Urban renewal expenditures. Well, I'm not actually current on how much they are spending, in fact, on the urban renewal projects. And these are all issues that I have to explore as well. Like, I don't have answers for every single issue. These are things that I encourage everyone to get involved in, myself included. Get educated on it. That's my biggest thing is I don't have an answer for you until I go and do it myself. That's the most honest answer I can give you.
That sounds like an answer to me. Thank you. Kirk, what do you think?
I think most of our urban renewal resources come from grants. So the more grants we can get, the more we can do with the money. I do believe it's important that we're helping folks find homes and education and jobs.
Thank you. My fourth question, I'm going to ask Kirk. First, what opportunities do you see to improve transit in the city in the near and medium term?
Well, we're actually working on that right now, called the Gresham Powell Transportation Program. We're trying to bring high-speed transportation from downtown Portland and hopefully clear out to the college here. So it is being worked on, and there's quite a group of folks that are working on that. People a lot smarter than me.
Andrew, what do you think?
You want to repeat that, please? Sorry.
What opportunities do you see to improve transit in the city in the near and medium term?
What opportunities do I see? Well, I see a lot of opportunities, but you have to think about where are you going? Where, if you, say the Max, for example, a lot of people use tons of public transportation all around. where are you going to and why? Like, do people want to go to particular places? Do they want to reach a park that they might not be able to walk to otherwise? You know, there's say everyone talks about Springwater Trail. That's a really long stretch, and there's parks in a bunch of areas that people just can't even get to. And I mean, there's no public transportation that goes past a certain point in certain areas. So I'm sure there's folks in a lot of communities that would appreciate even more, like, extended bus lines. You know, that would probably help.
Yeah, great. Okay, the fifth question, and Kirk will go first. What should the city do to reduce the impact of gangs in the area?
Actually, the city is working on those programs right now through a program with the police and with several organizations. We do have a program to help reduce the gang presence in the city here, and right now it seems to be working. We're not there yet. We have a long ways to go, but at least we've taken strides to correct that problem.
Thank you. Okay, now we're going to have some questions from the audience, and they don't look as exciting as the last session, but we'll try to make do. First one is, what are you most excited about? This is for both of you, of course. What are you most excited about to work on if elected? In other words, what's your passion project, Andrew?
My passion project is going back to primarily why I'm running, is to get people to participate. Because even in, like, there was a recent decision, and there was 12,000 votes cast out of roughly 110,000 people in Gresham. There's a problem there. We aren't hearing from a lot of people, and that it's all about connecting, making people think that their voice actually does matter. Because at this point, with everything in the news, there's so much crazy stuff out there. I think that people have gotten to a level where they've opted out. They've just opted out, and I think that, you know, you have to reach out to those people.
Okay. Kirk, what's your passion project?
I totally agree with what Mr. Doolin just said. 4 years ago, I used to be someone who sat on the couch, watched TV, and complained. Now, today, I'm very involved and engaged in what's going on here at this city. And my passion is not one thing, it's everything. I like to see more community policing, and I like to see helping the kids as much as we possibly can. And one of my biggest projects, I guess, would be finding jobs for people.
Okay, thanks. Kirk, and again, I'm just, identifying the first responder, okay, but because this question is always going to be for you too, we go back and forth. Many residents of Gresham only see spending going on downtown and Rockwood. Is this a fair assessment of what can the city do to help other parts of the city?
I think that spending is being done where it's needed and where their funds are available, and you have to look at the return on investment in my mind. I've been a businessman for 41 years. I understand that you only have so much money, you can only spend it in so many places, and you have to have a plan in mind. And to answer your question, I don't really know if that's a fair assessment or not. I think we're putting the dollars where we need to put them.
Thank you. I'll repeat the question. Many residents of Gresham only see spending going to downtown and Rockwood. Is this a fair assessment? And what can the city do to help other parts of the city?
I don't think that's completely fair. I don't think all the money is going to Rockwood and downtown Gresham. If it was all going to Rockwood, then there might be a bigger change in there. Because I know that Gresham actually does not have a whole lot of money to be working around a bunch of projects simultaneously to actually get a difference going on. There's not a whole lot of money here to play with. These are all volunteer positions. We don't get paid for this. I paid $10 to be here, and it's worth it. Like, I'm just being honest here. We can all be honest. I implore everyone to get involved to try to find a solution to create more revenue, because what's going on here, I've listened to a lot of council meetings, and I just think that, there's just too many options that haven't been brought to the table yet that are out there as far as making everybody happy.
Well, Andrew, talking about options, with limited resources, what are some of your ideas to improve public safety? And also, how would you support the role of neighborhood associations in making sure their concerns are heard?
Well, neighborhood associations are pretty powerful around here, because there's not a whole lot of organization in the city. I'm sure you all know. There's not a whole lot of people organizing different groups. Yes, there are some, definitely, and thankful for that. There are some, but there's just not enough. We're not getting. That's just a simple answer, that we're not getting enough views. We're not getting enough of a perspective, and that's the biggest problem we have. No one, like I went and did some field research, and I went and canvassed and tried to get people to register to vote, and it was tough. A lot of people are not interested. A lot of people don't want anything to do with it, and I can just keep on going back to it. That's the singular biggest problem that we have. No one, I mean, not no one, but like at least 60 to 70% of people just are not here. You know, thankfully people are here now, but we need more. We need all these seats filled. You know, we need people sitting back there trying to look over to see to look at me when I'm talking or whatever. You know, that's what we need.
Thank you. Kirk, what do you think?
I couldn't agree more. That's been a pet peeve of mine for a long time, and I refer to my previous comment about watching TV and complaining. That's the old Kirk. I refer to old Kirk a lot of time. How do I get to old Kirk and bring these points up? How do I engage them? How do I get them involved? And the turnout here for the levy was terrible. It's almost shameful to see people not caring enough to come out and vote for something that in a place where they live, not Washington, D.C., not Salem, Oregon. They live here. It could care less, and it just bothers me sometimes to see people not getting involved, like Mr. Doolin has indicated.
Okay, but so how do you get people involved?
I'm trying to resolve that right now. I just had a conversation just an hour ago with somebody that can help me get there. We're going to come up with some ideas.
Okay, Andrew, what you got any ideas to solve this involvement problem?
Yeah, get a younger voice, get someone that actually speaks real, that can speak different, a different language, that can actually fit into different cultures, that's not an alien to a bunch of different cultures. I grew up around here. I was born right around here, I know a lot of things around this area, and diversity is not a stranger to me. I can walk down the street in Rockwood and feel completely fine today. I mean, I've lived on Rockwood a few years as a kid, I didn't used to feel that way. I mean, there is some kind of better over there, but did you really have to move a police station or a cop shop over there to make people feel a little bit better about walking over there? Like, there's a lot of things that need to change over there, and I think there needs to be a big perception change around here about what's really, what you maybe think you see is maybe what's real, is maybe not what's real, actually. So,
But
and actually communicating to people, actually getting the word out, you got to present yourself. You can't be here. They're not here.
okay, so that's the audience. We've got three questions. You're wanting to push. I'm just going to stay with you, and I'm going to go back to Kirk. Where they want to push specifics. Like how are you going to throw out this net, or how are you actually going to get them involved?
Bring up interesting topics. You know the world we live in today. People are super stimulated all day by bigger issues, bigger stories. No one has time for the little things, and unfortunately, they're not little things that that actually make a difference in this city. And so people have gotten used to the point where they are, like I said, they've opted out entirely. That we just have to make them. If you show people data, there's no disputing that you can do something in this city. The city offers an opportunity not a lot of cities do, is that your average person can actually get involved and do something on a higher level in the city. That's why I'm here.
Okay, Kirk.
We also have a new program that the city has helped create. Well, we didn't create it, but we got involved in it. It's called Nextdoor.com. And I actually happen to be a lead in my neighborhood getting people involved. I sent 139 invitation to people in my neighborhood, and I've got 20 people respond, which is a pretty good response. We've had some neighborhoods out there that have 250 members. This is getting the word out to the neighbors and letting them voice their opinions. I'm hoping that's just a start of what can happen out of this. again, we need to get our voices out there. We need to be knocking on doors. We need to be involved in civic groups. We need to be involved in the faith-based groups. We recently had the Green and Clean program. I don't know if you're aware of what that was, but we cleaned up the north end of Fairview. We did the Fairview Trail. I happen to be working at the north end of the Fairview Trail, and I heard at least 3 languages, and I don't speak English all that well, but I did hear 3 different languages. That made me feel good that we're getting people out in the community with a little bit of diversity in them coming together to help the city. And I think that's a start. There's more to do.
Thank you. Okay, another question from the audience for both of you, and I'm going to fire it on Andrew first. If you had to choose 2 metrics by which we should judge the city of Gresham's success, what would they be?
2 metrics? Well, I'm going to guess that I know what that meant.
Measurements.
All right, and measurements. Political and intellectual diversity.
Okay. Kirk, what do you think?
Words and action.
All right. Now you talked about diversity. Gresham is becoming more diverse. What opportunities does this present for the development of the city, Andrew?
It promotes a lot of different opportunities if people are open to them. There's a lot of walks of life all throughout Gresham, but there's also a lot of people, a large majority of people that do get involved in things like this that aren't open to certain types of diversity and certain cultures that might look weird or alternative to them. And so the first step is opening minds to actually accepting different people for who they are and what they do and not trying to control them. That's a big thing because that's really disrespectful in a lot of people's eyes. And I can see how them not wanting to participate because of that.
Kirk, what do you think?
I'll go back to words and action. It's easy to say something, it's more difficult to get it done.
Yeah.
And so if we can have results, I would be feeling better about answering your question. I think we have a long ways to go, but like I said, I'm open to listen to anybody and hear what they have to say. Try to take action.
Okay, so following up, these are still, I'm just throwing out these audience questions.
Okay.
How important is working as a team then, Kirk, for your council and the other regional teams? Is there some teamwork aspect to this, even regionally?
I'm trying to recall. I know that we have plans through the staff is working on issues with calling on the community and getting them involved in community engagement. Community involvement committee is seeking and trying to find solutions to bring other people into the fold to be part of the team, and I welcome that. I do.
And the council? How about the teamwork on the council?
Council directs the city, and it is on. It's not on our specific plan today on a diversity thing, but it is going to be something that comes up in the future. We need to do more on it, but nothing's not being done.
Thank you. I'm going to fire those two questions back to back for you, Andrew. We're talking about working as a team, how important that is regionally, and then let's get down to the council. That's the second part of the question.
All right. Regionally, as a team, working with everyone in the region, that's a tough thing to do. There's lots of different views, and I don't know all of those views. Unfortunately, I wish I did, because then I'd be able to elaborate really deeply on how I felt. And unfortunately, I don't. So I can't really comment very heavily on that. But I think it is very important. There's lots of things going on right now. Like there are dangers with, say, geothermal energy, for instance. I think that's a regional concern for sure. Because, I'm not sure if you guys are aware, but did you guys see the Sonora, Mexico, half-mile wide crack? That's from geothermal energy. Like, there's a lot of things going on with that, and I just want to make sure that if anyone thinks about using that as, like, even going green, I know that's popular, like, there are dangers there as well. Things that just people don't usually think about,
What about team building on the council?
team building on the council, well, it's important. I think different views are very important as well. You know, I'm not afraid to butt heads, but that's not my goal.
Okay, thank you. The last question that I have is, we'll start back at Kirk. How can the city better empower the neighborhood associations?
Wow. I think to have someone on council who is actively involved in the neighborhood associations, which I think I am right now. I've been there, I've been listening, I have a lot of comments, I've learned a lot of things, facts and unfacts, that things I want to get straight, and I want to someday be able to say, when somebody has a criticism of the city, I can go, just excuse me, look at this list we have that we've prepared and accomplished in the last two years, because I think we've gone a long way. So empowering them, they have to ask what they want, and I'm going to help them get it.
Thank you. Andrew, what do you think?
What do I think? You want to repeat that, please?
Yeah. How would you go about, how can you empower these neighborhood associations?
Well, I don't know in what ways they need to be empowered. Like, if that's up to them to speak on their own behalf, to let me know that what they want, really, that's what we're here for. We're supposed to be public servants. If I don't know what someone wants, if I don't know what a community wants, how am I supposed to serve them? That's like, here's this question mark, and I can't do anything with it if I have no feedback. You're asking me what should be asked of the public really seriously, and we should get a serious response back.
Thank you. Okay, I'm done with the audience questions, and now we're going to move into our closing statements. So let's go with Kirk, since I'm trying to be... Who did go first? I lost track. You went first at the beginning? Oh, okay. Well, then let's go the other way. Andrew, you go first. Give us your 1 minute closing statement.
My 1 minute closing statement. Well, I think that just being here today, shows that, you guys are all involved in some way. You guys are interested, and I commend that. But none of you chose to be up here today, and I did. And I think that it takes a particular kind of person who, I'm not a businessman, I'm not super eloquent, I'm just your average person that just wants to help. And I saw an opportunity and I got in there. That's all I can say.
Good. Kirk?
Thank you for having me. I've spent my entire adult life in some type of leadership or management position. I've been given and earned the responsibilities of creating action plans and making sometimes very difficult decisions. I have the time today and the willingness to listen to our citizens and to help with all solutions that I could possibly make.
Thank you. Okay, well, this concludes the League of Women Voters Forum on Gresham Council Position 2. We thank each of the candidates for participating in our forum. And we also thank our volunteer league timekeepers. Good job out there. And the rest of our volunteers. Please check our website at lwvpdx.org to view our forums and on-demand replay dates, times, channels for local access, cable TV. Also, please pick up a copy of the League of Women Voters Voters Guide at your local public library. Online, you can check vote411.org for a preview of your own personal ballot. And remember, Election Day is November 4th. As in all Oregon elections, you will receive a mail-in ballot. Ballots must be mailed back early or delivered to an official drop-off site anywhere in Oregon, but no later than 8 p.m. on Tuesday, November 4th. Postmarks do not count. This is Deb Frick for the League of Women Voters of Oregon, of Portland, I should say. Thank you for watching, and please be an informed voter. And remember, your vote counts. Thank you so much.